is Jessie. I'm a Children's Services Librarian here at the Clinton-Macomb Public Library, and you are here joining me for Baby High Chair Masterpieces. And what that is several activities that I am going to demonstrate to you and show you the supplies you'll need for this activity. And it's all incorporating paint. You could use a height chair for sure, because we're going to start with ages as young as 6 months and go up to probably 2 or 3, depending on the comfort level with the child and with the grown-up. But all of these activities are sort of mess-free painting masterpieces. Mess-free meaning we're going to have things enclosed. I'm definitely still using a water-based paint that is non-toxic, washable, so that we're extremely safe in this, but also incorporating supplies that help you keep those hands kind of mess-free, but also if you in the height chair, they're sort of contained and safe in order to get those beautiful masterpieces in place. We are going to be using sensory and motor skills. You can definitely introduce some early literacy into these activities, so stay tuned and I will show you all of the supplies you're going to need, which are most likely going to be found around your home, and if not, very inexpensive supplies, and the steps for each activity. What I have here are the supplies for golf ball painting. Now this, I would say, the child needs to be old enough to be able to pick up a container and shake it around. So maybe 9 months and above. So I'm using kind of a big container here because this is what I have. You can use anything. I've seen other videos where they have used a sort of like a baking sheet with a lid, so it's a little shorter and easier for baby to pick up. But this is what I have here, which is just a storage container with a lid. So you need something with a lid large enough to put a piece of paper in. I just have a standard size piece of paper that I am going to stick in the bottom there. And as you can see here, I have a variety of colors of paint. All of these are washable, non-toxic. So if it gets on baby's hands, if it ends up being a mess, they definitely can wash out, and I can easily wash my container when I'm done. And the last thing you need, of course, is a golf ball. Again, you might want to not want to use supplies that you don't want to get ruined, but everything should wash off pretty easily. So I'm going to put the golf ball kind of to the side here in my lid so it doesn't roll away. And I'm just going to take a couple different colors, and I'm going to just put a couple spots. I should probably shake this up a little bit. A couple different spots of paint on the paper of different colors. I definitely like rainbow, so, and lots of colors. So I'm definitely going to be using as much color as I possibly can, just a couple of dots. So you're going to obviously, the grown-up's going to prepare this for the child. If baby or child is old enough and you feel comfortable doing it with them, that's definitely an option to assist them and do it together. Like I said earlier, there's that Crayola paint that's great for this, because it is a couple other stores like Lakeshore Learning has great tapes or great paints. Okay, this is my last color. Okay, so what we're gonna do is, you can see inside that I have a variety of color in there. And we're just gonna take the golf ball, put it inside, put the lid on, and at this point you're going to give it to the child and let them shake it. And they're just going to keep shaking it around as much as they can or want to. They might want to do this for a really long time. Just keep shaking it around. So when it's done, it will look like that. Super cute masterpiece, great way to introduce children to painting without a huge mess. It's all these supplies I feel like you could probably find around your house. You don't have to use a golf ball. You definitely could use a ping pong ball maybe, but it does have to have a little bit of weight to move around, but it doesn't have to be a golf ball if you don't have one. Just use what you have around your home. This could be a framer if you want it to be, or laminate it, but I just think it's a wonderful little introduction to paints for kids in a fun and mess-free way. This next activity is called smudge painting, which is mess-free again. I'm using almost all the same supplies through this whole video. So as you can see, I still have the same paints out. I have a gallon-sized plastic bag. It doesn't have to be anything special, just one that you have in your drawer, and just a plain white piece of paper. So this is, again, ahead of time, if you want to prepare this for the baby, and depending on their age, if they're, 1.5 or 2, and this is something you want to do at home, you could definitely have the child assist you. But you're just going to kind of put some paint in the bag. I'm going to use a couple different colors. I've seen people do this a few different ways. You could try and put the design on if you're looking for a specific design ahead of time, and then put it in the bag, but it does become a little bit more difficult to put the paint in the bag. I'm trying to get some down kind of below there. Make sure I get all my colors in. It's already starting to look very pretty. And then last color here. Okay, so as you can see, we have a variety of colors. You're just going to seal the bag. Make sure that's the most important. And then just put the paper in front of baby on their high chair tray and let baby just smush it all around. They are gonna love this. This really starts working those fine motor skills and the color component too. So it's it just kind of smushes out pretty easily too. And then as soon as it's done, or baby is done playing with it, I mean, they can play with it as much as or as little as they like. You can draw designs in it. If the child's a little bit older and you're working on letters and numbers, you could even draw letters in there. But this is just a super fun activity all around, where you can incorporate a lot of different skills depending on how old the child is or what they're working with. But you could even go as young as, children usually start sitting in high chairs around 6 months, or maybe a little younger. If they're moving their hands around, definitely get something like this in front of them and get them those skills moving. This next activity is called canvas painting. Now this is very similar to smudge painting, but the difference is you're going to use a couple different materials. Here I have an actual canvas. This is it's one of those thinner canvases. You can use any canvas you have if you have one at home. If you don't have one at home, these are very inexpensive at Michael's. I think they sell them, they can be as cheap as $1. You might even be able to find these at a dollar store. I have saran wrap here, or plastic wrap here, any brand, doesn't matter, and the same paints that I've been using, which are the water-based washable paints. So what you're going to do here is, again, you could definitely do some kind of design if you're looking for it to go a certain direction. I'm going to try and do a little bit of a rainbow. So we're just going to take our colors. They're not going to be in rainbow color order, but we'll definitely just have a variety of colors to make it look like a rainbow. So just try and get that shape going as you can do anything with this. You can do the same thing with the smudge painting and just put dots all around, because it's going to be a very similar concept. So orange is a little thicker, and then we'll put red down here. Okay, perfect. So very carefully, you are going to take your saran wrap and you're going to wrap it. So you could definitely put this in a plastic bag too. I'm just trying to give you a couple different options of things you can do. So we're just gonna carefully wrap that around, and it kind of suctions as you do that. So I would probably go around twice to avoid any mess. Again, this is sort of mess-free baby high chair painting, easy cleanup. Okay, so I've gone around, actually, I would say that was closer to 3 times. Just gonna cut my saran or my plastic wrap here. And then at this point, you're just gonna fold over the pieces. And same thing as the smudge painting. We're gonna turn it around so you can see, and baby just can start mushing it around. Now, it might end up looking like a rainbow, it might not, depending on how much baby is playing with this rainbow. But as you can see, it definitely has the appearance of that. If you spread the dots out a little bit more and show more of the white canvas, it's gonna be, you know, it's gonna come out a little bit more abstract as baby pushes the paint around. But what I've seen really cool on something, this can make a really wonderful gift, where you let the canvas dry. After this is done, baby is done playing with the paints, you let the canvas dry, and you gotta take the plastic off, let it dry, and then if you have, you could use a black marker for sure if you have, you know, if you wanna write on it, but I've seen if you have a Cricut at home, you can print letters and use vinyl to go over the top, and it just can say something really sweet, and it's a wonderful gift to give, a homemade gift from baby when they're not quite ready to make those homemade creations on their own. This is just a wonderful activity to, again, just get those motor skills going. There's a ton of different variables, and using the supplies that you have at home. Nothing has to be any special quality, just doing your best at home. But yes, this is I think a wonderful gift and another great activity to introduce babies to painting. Here I have the supplies for bubble wrap painting. Now this activity is, we're gonna be using some sensory here, motor skills, introduction to painting, and what I have here is a piece of bubble wrap. I had to tape mine here because there was a little bit of a hole, but you just wanna make sure that there are no holes in the actual bubble wrap so that the paint doesn't seep out. But piece of bubble wrap, piece of just plain white paper. You could also use a canvas for this if you choose to do that and have them at home, and my water-based paints. So for this one, you are actually gonna wanna take, and I also have masking tape. You're gonna wanna tape down the piece of paper to your surface. So in this case, if you have an older child and would like to do this activity at a table or art table or craft table, that's great. Some paint could potentially seep out, so just keep that in mind as you choose your location of where you would like to this activity to take place, and or just right on a high chair. But again, we're using paints that wash away very easily with some soap and water, non-toxic, so that's definitely a safe space to do it as well. And then you're just gonna take your bubble wrap, and you want it the bubble part down. That's where we're gonna tape this over, but first what we're gonna do is we're going to add in our paint. And I'm gonna try and keep it kind of close to the center. I'm just gonna add a couple colors here. You can use any colors you choose, favorite colors. If you're going with a theme, maybe for the holidays, or a special, if you're making a painting for a loved one, their favorite colors. You could do a rainbow, you could do design, whatever the child would like to, whatever the goal is as far as the painting goes. Okay, so I have my paint here. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my bubble wrap and I'm just gonna place it down right on top. And as you can see, it's already starting to kind of move around. I wanna take that tape and I am going to tape that down as well. So the paper underneath is not gonna move, the bubble wrap is not gonna move, and as soon as that is secured to the surface, the baby or toddler can go to town in making their design. So now we just start smushing. So just like some of the other videos, the smush paint, you can just kind of smush it around. Probably could have put a little bit more paint on the outside, but just depending on trying not to get it on the surface here and keeping it as mess-free as possible. You can see it's kind of turning into a very abstract, pretty colors, and it's gonna give some texture. You could try and flip this on the other side if the baby wants to play with the actual bubble wrap, but you might not get quite as much texture in the painting itself, so completely preference. So after I'm done with that, I'm just gonna very easily kind of take this tape off, and as you can see, let's see, masking tape is just a great supply to have at home. You can get it at the dollar store, and it comes off surfaces so easily, and even paper. So as you can see, when I show you close up, it definitely looks like an abstract painting, but if I did more of a design, it would look more like that design, and you can see the bubble indentation and the textures that are in there. So again, just a wonderful activity to do at home, in free time, downtime with baby. If you're looking for something to do that involves a lot of different skills, or this, like I said, it's a great gift depending on what the goal is with the painting.